Hello, welcome back. So, Clone High Season 2. Um, I watched it. I'm kind of still not entirely sure how I feel about it overall. I loved the original Clone High. I like as yeah, it's a phenomenal satire on teen dramas, with every episode being a very special episode, and like it's just poking fun at various of the sort of special messages that a lot of teen dramas would do. So yeah, it had the episode about pollution, or about littering. Had an episode about littering as a parody of that episode about pollution. Had an episode about Gandhi having ADD and its hyperactive cousin ADHD. Sort of satirizing special episodes dealing with AIDS, and it was a really on point satire of that kind of teen drama, which was very much an of its day thing. Um, we've gotten kind of farther away from when that was a thing. We've gotten farther away from those days. So, to a certain extent, it does kind of feel like Clone High was sort of left in a position of trying to figure out what it was trying to, what it, had to say now. And not entirely sure it always succeeded. I mean, there are absolutely bits that I loved. The first episode, I had very few genuine laughs in the first episode. The first episode in particular felt it really felt like them trying to figure out where they kind of stood today. Yeah, it was sort of like about cancel culture, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure if they even knew what point they were really trying to make about cancel culture to a certain extent. Like, it didn't feel entirely critical of it. It also didn't feel entirely. I don't know. It just felt really weird. Because JFK, or not JFK, but Abe was definitely saying things that were offensive, and they were treating it like, yes, what he's saying here is offensive. Um, but it also seemed to be sort of poking fun a little bit at the idea of cancel culture, and eh. And I have my opinions regarding the idea of cancel culture, regarding how it's perceived and everything. Won't get into that here, but suffice to say, I think it's something that'll. I think my take on it is something that a lot of people would disagree with, but so yeah, the first episode really. It really felt like they were trying to figure out where they were, and it didn't quite work. After that, it did get a little bit better. There were some episodes that I found absolutely hilarious. Um, the sleepover episode did have some really good bits. Um, the musical episode, I liked the musical episode. I always like a musical episode. The episode about Joan having silly legs, that one I didn't care for. I didn't care for the. I like. I do like. I did very much appreciate its nostalgia is bad um, attitude. Like I very much agreed with the message behind that episode that you need to be willing to let go of the past. It's just the idea of silly legs just felt too ridiculous to me. That didn't work for me. But I did like that they're like, yeah, you do have to let go of the past. Nostalgia is harmful. I have very strong feelings about nostalgia. I really do not care for nostalgia. I do find it something that is downright dangerous. Um, so any sort of be willing to let go of the past to get over it meaning message, yeah, I support that. um, the For Your Consideration episode was really good. um, yeah, I mean there was a lot of stuff about it that was a lot of fun. um, Kind of a shame. I was kind of disappointed in how much Cleo got sidelined early on. She did get a little bit more to do as the season went on, but she got very much sidelined for like the first half of the season, which was a little disappointing. Um, yeah, there were things about the season that things about it that worked, things about it that didn't. Um, it didn't have the same quality. It didn't. I know this sounds hypocritical considering I was just criticizing nostalgia, but it didn't have the same sharpness, I think, that the first season had. Like I said, I think because it was, I mean, to a certain extent, it was because, it was trying to bank a little bit on nostalgia while also, updating for modern times and trying to play that balancing act. But also, I think it was just something where, like I said, it never felt like it came together the way the first season did. It always felt, to a certain extent, like they were trying to figure out what they were doing, and it didn't have the same cultural relevance that the first season had when it came out. Like you couldn't make the first season of Clone High today because it wouldn't have the same impact. Not because of any difference in the humor, but because it's just it came out at the right time for what it was trying to be. Yeah, it really wouldn't have had the same cultural relevance today. So that's I think what comes down to. They were trying to find a way to be relevant to modern culture, and there were some hits, but there were some misses. Um, on a side note, I mentioned Cleopatra. I mentioned Cleo. Uh, they did change her voice actress because in the first season she was voiced by Krista Miller, who is white. For this season, they cast Mitra Juhari, who is Iranian American. And I was thinking about that. So Cleopatra, there's all is Cleopatra black? No, Cleopatra was not black. She was Greek by way of Persia. Um, yeah, she is sort of Greek and Persian. So an Iranian American, somebody of Iranian heritage. Iran is where Persia used to be. So that actually works. I was like, when I realized that, I was like, wait, that actually does work. Um, and I do appreciate that Krista Miller did get brought back uh, as Candide, the new Principal Scudworth's new superior. That's cool. It's cool that they were like, we'll still give you, we'll still. It was cool that they still found a way to bring her back, to bring back that same actress. I did appreciate them doing that. Um, as far as the new characters go, Candide was a lot of fun. She was definitely utterly charming. Just really entertaining in how much of a bitch she is. She was fun for that. Frida Kahlo, um, she was cool. I liked Frida. Uh, how chill she was throughout and everything. That was it was fun. She was a fun character, and Harriet Tubman as well. Harriet Tubman was a lot of fun. Confucius, again, really cool way of doing Confucius. Really fun version of him. Um, they couldn't bring back Gandhi because he was kind of part of the reason the show got canceled in the first place. Um, Confucius kind of fills a similar niche, I thought, to Gandhi in being sort of more obsessed with pop culture than a lot of the other clones were. Um, and I thought he was really entertaining. And then Topher, I liked, I liked that Topher Bus, aka Christopher Columbus. I like that he, I like that he's like, I like that like says flat out that like, you know, people have really turned against Christopher Columbus in recent years, and they have. Um, there has been definitely a growing backlash against Christopher Columbus, the legacy of Christopher Columbus. So, the fact that he's trying to distance himself from that was a really clever idea, I thought. And having him be sort of this sort of fake social justice dude, like this white guy who uses, a white guy who straight white guy who uses language of social justice activism um, in order to get away with being kind of a terrible person. Sadly, gets relevant pretty often. Yeah, that does come up kind of a lot, unfortunately. Joss Whedon. um, and so many instances. The internet is full of guys like him who are who present themselves as allies, but who are ultimately toxic and abusive. So he was he was an interesting addition. Not a likable character, but an entertaining one. And also, they did bring back Mandy Moore. Gotta appreciate Mandy Moore. Living in a dumpster for some reason. I found that hilarious. Just, sure. And yeah, so on the whole, I did enjoy it. The new characters were all done well. They were all interesting characters. Um, the A fair bit of the humor did sadly fall flat for me. Although as the season went on, it fell flat less often. Uh, it doesn't have the same bite, the same kind of relevant relevance that it did back in 2003. The social commentary um, isn't as relevant. I didn't feel so, but still, on the whole, um, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Clone High Season 2. Let me know what you thought. Yeah, maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe you enjoyed it more than I did. Or maybe you enjoyed it less than I did. But yeah, that's what I thought about Clone High Season 2. Good, not great. While the original season was just, the original Clone High was amazing. This one was good, not great. So yeah, that's it for today. So thanks for watching, and catch you in another video, hopefully.